If you missed the big breakout on Tesla the other week, I got good news for you. There's a new level that will set Tesla up to test all-time highs again, and I'm going to give you what's fueling the narrative on Wall Street, share my technical analysis, and personal swing trading plan on the charts. Let's do this. Welcome to Swing Trading and Coffee, mellow vibes and great swing trading. My name is Anthony, and I have some really awesome updates for you on Tesla. In the first part of the video, we'll cover the narrative unfolding, and in the second part, we'll do an in-depth technical analysis of the chart. Let's do a quick recap of the current narrative. Is Tesla really poised to dominate in robotics and AI? And if they do, what could a company be worth? How crazy could this get if humanoid robots end up in every household and business? Baird upgrades Tesla to 548. Wedbush raises their price target to $600 based on its potential in AI and robotics. Can it go even higher? Let's take a look at the story. Wall Street can't afford to be left behind if Tesla becomes the leader in physical AI and humanoid robotics. But can Elon pull it off? Elon's crappy political flop got him a lot of hate, but that's likely of minimal consequence at this point, as he seems to have slowly shifted out of the political spotlight and things have cooled down. According to this post on X, the full self-driving release in about 6 weeks will be a drastic gain with a 10x higher parameter count and many other improvements. It's going through training and testing right now. This, as I understand it, is a earlier release date than what was first announced. Tesla version 14 full self-driving will likely be 2 to 3 times safer than humans. The system doesn't have to be perfect, just safer than humans. And this will get robotaxis on all the roads. Next, Tesla wins approval to test autonomous robotaxis in Arizona, assuming they don't fudge it up and end up in legal issues. Optimus humanoid robot production. Ramp up and design improvements with potential for 80% of the company value tied to it, according to Elon. He just bought $1 billion worth of shares. That's pretty crazy when you think of it. You think he knows something? I think he knows real well that the full self-driving race has probably already been won, and he knows that Optimus will change the company into something completely different. I know it sounds like science fiction, but it could happen a lot faster than you think. It's about to have its iPhone 1 moment. Also, rumors of a possible stake in X or interest in getting a stake in X for exposure to Grok, it seems. Look at this Grok post. Wait till you see Grok 5. He thinks it has a true shot at being AGI. And, just a side note here about Grok AI. Imagine AGI in a humanoid robot. How insane would that be? It would just feel like if this were a Terminator movie, then Grok would be Skynet and Optimus the Terminator. But, let's not get too carried away. What will the world be like? A robot in every home. They might even use them in law enforcement, in the military, and maybe even this Tesla Terminator bot. If Wall Street waits till production and automation picks up, it'll be too late. The share price will just be much higher. And as we all know, Wall Street likes to front run the market. In my personal opinion, and this is just my opinion, Tesla could go easily higher than Wedbush's price of $600 in 2026. I think once the public sees its first fully working model of the Optimus robot on the streets, that's when reality is going to set in. I know there are lots of videos of Optimus doing really goofy stuff, tipping over, just standing there and locking up and not knowing what to do. But it's just a software update. The hardware is there. The tech is there for the hardware, I think. But it's just all about fine-tuning the software, and all it is just an update. All right, that wraps up the news. Now let's get into the charts for some in-depth technical analysis. Guys, if you like real swing trading reviews and lots of technical analysis, this is the channel for you. I started this channel just 3 weeks ago as a personal experiment to see where it would lead me, and so far I'm having a lot of fun. I want to provide fun and easy to understand swing trading tutorials using my actual trades as they unfold. So every day after the market closes, I show you my trades, I break them down, tell you where it went well or where it went wrong. So be sure to subscribe to get notifications, and because the content will only get better from here. So first off, when we analyze a chart, we have to zoom out a little and see the big picture before we look at what's happening today. So, we had a massive run up in October last year, taking us all the way up to 489. After that, we tried to pull back and go for a second shot at a high, and it rejected. So we have our first resistance here at the highs, and then we have this second resistance here. Then we have a third one where after it pulled back, it tried to go up and then failed again. And this was confirmation of the beginning of a downtrend, because you now have lower highs forming and lower lows. Okay, right there. So once this happened, we were in a downtrend for quite a bit, and then it took a while to consolidate at the bottom. We formed like a double or triple bottom. Now, lots of choppy price action here. This was a very bad time to be trading Tesla, and I stayed out of it personally until I saw this pattern forming, which is like a pennant or a triangle. And what this is that you have sellers at the top here in this zone, and then you have buyers at the bottom, and it's a tug of war, which is why it keeps chopping around within this zone until one side gets worn out and gives out. So once you have a breakout to either the top or to the bottom, that tells you where it's most likely to go. Now, once we had this breakout here, I took a long. I saw this breakout candle, here, and then I saw the confirmation. I said, it's time to get in. However, it pulled back and it stopped me out. Now, someone else, if they had a little bit of a loose stop, they may have not gotten stopped out, but I follow my rules when it comes to stop losses to avoid, catastrophic events, because this could just go straight down here. Now, I took a second swing at this here, and it held the EMAs. And then it was looking like it was going down again, and I stopped out because I was getting in like at a really tight play here, because we had this initial breakout here. We pulled back to retrace to the trend line, and then we came back up here. And if this fails, logic is if you fail once here and then you go up and fail again, it's back down. So I didn't want to take chances. I got out of that trade with a very small loss. However, once we got back above, here I have the 13, 21, and 50 EMA, and these are the main EMAs that I use in my swing trading. What happened is once we got into this zone here, I kept saying, watch Tesla because it is coiling up. We had a big change in the character of the price action. We changed from a downtrend into a triangle formation, and then we broke out, we retraced, and now we're coiling. And I said, if this goes here, it's going to be explosive. And what I did is I bought calls right around this red candle here, where it wicked up. It tried to take out the high. It was showing me that it is still pushing into this resistance we have. We had 1 wick, 2, 3, and then 4. And I said, okay, this wants to break out. It's forming pressure here. And I bought my calls here. And then 2 to 3 days later, my calls went from $5.60 to $31. This is the best play I've had this year so far. Now, let's look here, market psychology. Once, when it's down here, very few people want to buy, but when it's up here, everybody wants to buy. So where did I get out? I got out somewhere around here, around the $423, because remember those resistance zones that we marked off here? they correspond to these two lines, and this is your all-time high. So I had great profits here. It's approaching resistance. I was like all out. I typically scale out gradually, but this was such a big move, I had to get out completely. I waited it out, and people were like, discussions on, StockTwits, Reddit, whatever, people talking about entries. And I said, yeah, I am bullish on Tesla. I think we are going to take out the highs eventually. However, we have this gap here, which is making me quite uncomfortable, because one possibility here, this is just trying to assess all the different paths this stock can take. If it fails up here, which it's not looking like it wants to fail, because it keeps slamming into it. Today we had a awesome wick. Today is Friday, September 26th, just so we have it in the video. I was thinking this may need to retrace down to the 21 EMA to fill the gap and then go straight up. So I sat on my hands. I said, I already made the money on Tesla. I may not want to get in yet. I want to see how it works out. Yesterday, I bought some. Once it's bought a little bit here, a very small starter, and today I doubled down on it. We're going to see what happens into next week. But I am seeing very bullish price action here. Now, we got two more scenarios. What does it do if it gets up? So we said it could go down and then shoot back up, or it could just break out on Monday. If it breaks out, we will likely have to come up here, build a little bit of structure before going for an all-time high. I don't expect a straight green candles through all of this. So you have to keep in mind that there may be a lot of chop here. It may work its way up here a little bit before testing the high. And also, it may not even take out the high on the first try. It may have to come back down and then work its way back up. It'll take time, but the way I'm looking at it is I would rather swing trade this in the short term, but in the long term, I do have plans to hold on to Tesla. I think it could go way higher than this. Now, we have to look at the downsides and where I would be wrong, because if I'm wrong, I want to stop out of this swing trade. My invalidation point would be here. Why did I pick this zone? Because it corresponds to this support zone here. And if we get a little bit of fill of the gap and go back up, I'm still in the trade. I don't get stopped out the way I did when we were down here. Now, this is invalidation line. It could also be lower. You could say this is also a support because we had this high over here in June. So, if markets get very volatile, it could go down and then back up. I don't see it coming back down and forming new lows. I keep hearing people calling out, oh, Tesla's going to 200. Well, guess what? I got news for you. Let me go back in the charts to when Tesla was about $80. Okay, I finally found it on the chart. So, back here, January 2023, there was a lot of fear in Tesla, yada, yada. I was swing trading it, made a little bit of money on it, but I was thinking long-term. I wanted to get in for a long-term position. And when we were in this zone here, everybody kept saying, this dipped to like $100. I honestly recall it going below $100, but I don't see it on the chart. However, people kept saying, this is going to go down to $80. Wait for a dip to $80. And look how far we've come up to $489. So, to say that Tesla could go up to over $600 from here with full self-driving vehicles, humanoid robots, and who knows what else is going to happen, I think this has more hype in it. And, this stock has more hype than anything else on Wall Street right now. Maybe even more than NVIDIA. And, NVIDIA is an awesome company. It's just the potential this company has. Let's see the market cap of Tesla right now. Market cap is 1.46 trillion. Who's to say this can't become a $3 trillion company with full self-driving vehicles, robotaxis, and I even forgot to mention their involvement in the energy business as well. There's so many moving parts and it's all coming together. So we're going to do a little bit more projection here. This is highly speculative to see if we can extrapolate this move up into a higher price target long term. So using our Fibonacci extensions, we could do this, start at the bottom of the move to the top, to the bottom. I'm going to take both these. And it seems that we've reached our first target. So technically the 0.618 is the most probable one, followed the 0.786. We've gone all the way to the 1 mark. So we technically have hit a full, this may be the full move, and we're due for a pullback to that gap. But we're going to see. Fibonacci extensions, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. The way I use them is I plot down the levels and see if the price action reacts at the level. If it reacts to it, then I go with it. But, we're watching to see what happens in the next couple weeks, and I will update you again. So don't forget to subscribe, guys. Talk to you soon.